Hey dragons, I'm back. I can't believe I'm here to do my September TBR. This is crazy. So September is always a bit of a chaotic month. I go back to work. It's where everything starts happening work-wise. We also have, it's just like, I think it's a rougher month sometimes because you don't really know, you don't really have your footing. Your schedule's changing. I'm commuting again. But I still love to read, and it's definitely my self-care. I definitely find that I'm more relaxed and kind of enjoy everything when I'm doing reading. And I'm also participating in a ridiculous amount of readathons this month. But that's just me. That's like just me as a person. Like, my life is going to be super crazy and super chaotic. I will definitely like do a readathon. So I'm participating in 3 readathons. I'm participating in the Aurelium Academy one that I do every year, which is going to be my primary TBR, the TBR that I'm trying to finish the most. I will say that I did wind up completing my entire TBR last month. It was so good. And I'll kind of review that when I get to the sections this year. I'm also doing the Goddess Readathon, where I am prompts for Athena, which is hosted by Beatrice from Beatrice's Book Nook. And I'll definitely go over that stuff at the very end. That is a readathon that, like, there's a lot of options for prompts, sort of like everything else that I've been doing. So there's a specific TBR, but not really a specific TBR. And then I'm also doing, I joined Team Witch for the Mystic readathon. And again, there's a lot of community prompts, and there's a couple of other prompts as well. So I will definitely kind of be doing that. Every book will count for something. And then I'm also doing Autumn Equinox 2024, and those are the prompts that I'm going to do at the very end for my readathon, because those are, I'm like, I want to get my Dreamwalker status, so I will go over that at the very end. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to go over my goal focus and that stuff, because I really had a great time doing that last year. I bought dice and I literally cannot find them, so I'm going to have to go to my phone, which I don't love. But I'll probably find my dice when I don't need them. So the way that I've been breaking up my TBR, which I thought was really fun, it's called, I'm going to have a focus of the month, which I will do first. And that's broken down into these 6 categories. I'll put them over here. This is just shows me like what I'm going to be focused on. Last month I focused on series, which I was really nervous about because I am really bad at reading series, but I will definitely say that between that and also my ARC readathon that I had with a bunch of friends on booktube, I did really well with that. So I wish I could find my dice, but I can't right now, so I'm just gonna have to do it this way. But I will eventually find my dice. I literally just bought it, so if worst comes to worst, I can always just buy another stack of dice, but I literally just bought it, so I don't want to buy another one if I can avoid it. And if you hear my puppy in the background, sorry, she's sleeping. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a dice, and then we're gonna show the goal of the day. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you. Sorry, you probably can't really see anything, but it's okay. Okay, so section 3. Ooh, okay, so I have to read E-arcs, which is good. And then I'm going to roll a dice to show. So I have to focus on E-arcs, which is actually not that bad, because that's another goal for me to read more NetGalley books. So we will talk about that. And I need to read 4 E-arcs this month. Okay, so hold on one second. Let me put this in. Okay, so I need to read. Sorry, I'm like a little bit closer. Sorry, my water bottle's right behind me. Okay, so I need to read 4 E-arcs. It's actually really easy, I wouldn't say, but it's definitely not awful. So yeah, I have to go read 4 E-arcs. Okay, that's actually not that bad. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look on my TBR cart and just see what are books I know that I have E-arcs for. And again, I'm trying to stick with this like spooky theme that I have going. So NetGalley arcs, I'm going to go first, and then I'm going to kind of see what books work, and then I'll come back and I'll share those with you. So I need to read 4. Not actually that bad. It could have been a lot worse. And it is a goal that I have. So I will be back. so I have some options for this. I have to read 4 books. One of the books I do have to read in early September or the end of August is going to be Lucy Undying by Kristen Waite, because I am on a blog tour for this in early September. So I may finish it like this week, but if not, I will definitely add it because it is a Nick Kelly arc, but also a physical book, which I definitely prefer. And I also just have some other options. I have another cozy fantasy that I got a while ago. This is my my Fairy Loot edition, but it's The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields, which I think will be perfect, especially because I'm starting to commute again. I also do have my non-special edition of this if I don't want to lug this with me, but that could be a possibility. I also have Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, which is another one that I would definitely love to read. I know people have been really liking it, and I'm really excited to dive in. I do have an arc of the sequel. And then I also have Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Barron, which is another one that I really do want to read. But I also have a book called A Lady's Lesson in Scandal by Darcy McGuire. I will attach a photo here. Historical romance that I picked up that like looks really good. It was Read Now, so I may also read that. So those are like 5 options, but again, it's also me tackling some of my special editions, which is always something that I want to do because I want to know if I get to keep them. So yeah, that is my plan for that. So those are my 4 books that I'm going to toss on my TBR. I will be honest, I'm trying to pull from books that are still on my TBR cart because a lot of my reading for September was definitely things I didn't plan because Ping Pongathon was so last minute. We got the prom so last minute, so there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't really plan for. Alright, so now let's get into the second half of this where I do my cards and I show you guys a number. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm going to take my strand. Okay, so we're going to roll again. Okay, so I have to pick 2 chance cards, which is actually not that bad. So I'm going to go get my chance cards. We're going to pick 2, and then we're going to add that to this TBR pile. And yeah, so. So the next section, as you just saw, was called Game of Chance. And this is me just rolling a 6-sided dice and picking cards from my old TBR game. And last month, I only had to read 1, and I read God of the Guerrero because it had an animal in the book, or like an animal-like creature. So I finished that, which is really good. So now I'm going to roll again, and I'm just going to show you guys what the option is. Okay, we have 2. Can't really see. We have 2. So I'm going to go pick 2 cards. And again, I'm trying to pick books that are still on my TBR because I didn't read all of them from my TBR cart because Ping Pongathon was like changing up my books a lot. So yeah, let me go pick 2 cards and then we'll kind of figure out what books fit. So the first card I need to pick is continue a series you're unsure about. So this means I have to continue a series that I haven't picked up for a super long time. Okay, well, that is interesting. Okay, I put this card on here because there's like books behind my books that I could do this for. Alright, let me go find a series that I'm unsure about continuing about and just make it happen. So let me go get one. Okay, so this is one that I have been putting off, and the 3rd book in the series has come out. But I'm going to pick The One Girl in All the World by Kendra Blake, and this is the 2nd book in the Buffy Next Generation series following Willow's daughter. I really want to read this book. I think it's perfect for early fall. It's definitely a quick read too. So again, I tend to read quicker books in September because I have a ton of time to read because I have a lot of commuting, but my brain is like going in 55 different directions. So I'm going to add this one to my TBR, and it could potentially work for a couple of reading challenges I'm doing as well, hopefully. And now let's pick the next card. Ooh, read a book that's a gift. Okay, well that's not that hard, right? All right, a gift. Okay, well, I could think a gift. I can go look. I can go back to Christmas gifts too, but I didn't get a ton of things this year. You know what? I can add 1 book. All right, let me go get the book I'm thinking of. My friend Sarah gave me this book, Cross the Line by Simone Solotani. I may actually get the audiobook for this one as well if I can like figure it out or just buy it. I have a lot of credits on Audible, so I'm going to add this to the pile for that, and this is going to be my gifted book. I got this for my birthday. It's about motocross, and when I was younger, I loved the motocross movie, so I was hoping we would have similar vibes, and I have heard okay things about this book, so I'm excited to pick it up. Alright, let me go. Okay, so the next thing we are going to chat about is my readathon TBR, which I'm going to chat about all the readathons I'm participating in, but the one that I'm going to like give you specific prompts for is Aurelium, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So yeah, let me show you that, and then we'll kind of go through those prompts. That will be where a big part of this TBR comes from, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hi, so I'm back. So I am for Autumn Equinox 2024, which is Aurelium. If you're not following G from Book Roast, please go follow her. She talks about her readathon a lot better than I will. But I am the Dreamwalker Whelm, and I'm going to be the Mindwalker, so I have to do a bunch of different classes. So I have to do alchemy, and I have to read an emotional read. And honestly, I don't often cry when reading books. So I have two potential options that I'm gonna stick on here, and if I wind up reading them both, I will count one. Sorry, my dog is barking at nothing. So I have Once a Queen by Sarah Arthur, which is a YA fantasy, and I also have An Heir Comes to Rise by Chloe C. Pendraga. So I don't know, these are two that I'm thinking that I could count for this, but again, I don't really cry when reading books, but it does sometimes happen, so I'm going to count these, and one of these I will just count because, again, I don't get that emotionally connected to books most of the time, so I'm going to add those two. One of them will get counted, and I will just count it a book that I think is going to make me cry. So, yeah, that will be the first prompt. Oh, the next thing that I'm going to do is let me look it up in my little bullet journal. The next thing I have to do is for Art of Illusion. I have to read 2 books for this because I have to go up in levels. Again, watch G's video. She'll explain it a lot better than I can. But I have to do an emoji poll, which, again, I'm a little bit nervous about this, but I will take you off my tripod and I will show you guys what the prompt is. And then she says you could be, like, really vague with this, too, as long as it's sort of connected. So, again, randomize. Oh, so that's the thing. So that makes me think of movement on the cover, or like forward, maybe like the next book in a series, maybe. Ooh, I have a really good book for that as well. So I'm gonna go get that book to add to this TBR, because when I think of forward, I think of a series. So again, there's really no way to do this, so I'm just gonna go get that book for you all. I'm gonna give you 2 options because, again, I don't know what I'm gonna be in the mood for or what's actually gonna get read. So I'm gonna either do the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which is the second book in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe series, or I'm gonna read The Late Miss Willoughby by Claudia Gray, which is like a murder mystery. And again, these are so short, so one of these books will count, hopefully. So I'm just gonna write that in my bullet journal. I will be back for the next prompt. This book I am going to read for Alchemy, or Art of Illusion. Sorry, my last pick was for Art of Illusion, not class. That was the emoji pick. The next book I have to pick is pick a prequel. This was really hard. I don't have a ton of books on my TBR that are prequels. I guess you could make the argument that Sleep Like Death is technically a prequel, but I don't know. I'm not sure if people would really count that. So I just decided that I'm going to read Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas, and I'll attach a photo here. Zero in the Wallflower series, and I really do want to read it. So I'm going to add that to my TBR, and it's an audiobook. It's a historical romance, and again, I'm going to be commuting a lot this month, and I'm also going to be doing a lot of grading and setting up Google Classroom and stuff. So I'm definitely going to have a lot of like romance audiobooks or like mystery thrillers as I'm doing that stuff and setting up my classroom. So I'm going to do Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas for that prompt. So now let's move on to the next prompt. Okay, so the next prompt I have to read is for Spells and Incantations, and I need to read a 5-star read production, which I am going to do The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the new series for her. And I really don't know what it's about, but I'm really excited to dive in and read it. And again, it's another mystery thriller that has sort of those elements embedded in the story. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this one. And the next one I have to read is for my lore class. I need to read a book about vampires. So right now I'm gonna put on The Immortal Dark by Tidget Grima. And this is a book that I think is like Cruel Prince meet Night House in this decadent dark academia debut where one girl must live with an alluring vampire she suspects killed her family and kidnapped her sister. This comes out in September, so it will be right on point. And yeah, this cover is really, really creepy too. So I'm going to add that to there. So yeah, let me go do that, and then I will do the final prompts for you all. Okay, so the next class I have is I need to read a book for Psychonics and Divination, and I need to read a book from my favorite author, their debut. And I don't know, I was struggling a little bit, so I'm going to give The Archive by V.E. Schwab another shot. I tried to read this book before, and I struggled with it a little bit, so I'm going to give it one more shot and see how I feel. And if worse comes to worse, I'll go back and I'll read Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, which is a reread for me because I love that book and it will work. But I want to give this book a shot if I can. Maybe I'll find something else. I'm going to put this tentatively on my TBR, and if I have to change it, I have to change it. But it is also another like rather short book, and that's sort of the vibe right now. So I will add The Archive. It's also like an unfinished series. So I don't know if we're ever gonna get the last book in that series, but I did have it. I did buy it. Yeah. Okay. So the next prompt is I have to read a book that has the same letter 4 times in the title. So I'm gonna go look to see what I have. If worse comes to worse, I'll look at the stack of books I already have. But yeah, let's go see if I can find a book that has one word in the title 4 times, or one letter in the title 4 times. Actually surprising, and it was already on my TBR. It doesn't come out until 2025, but that's okay. It's going to be The Creme Brulee Bake Off by Rebecca Connolly, and this is a baking competition story that has a murder element to it. This is from Shadow Mountain, and I'm really excited for this one as well. And the last book, we have to do a tarot card reading, so I'm going to get that.
Daddy.
I'm gonna get that.
Daddy was quiet.
So I'm gonna show you guys what the tarot card reading is and try to find a card that will work. And hopefully it works. So I'm just gonna show you guys the thing. Okay, so I have to get a book that has the sun on the cover, or maybe like flowers on the cover. So the sun. I'm gonna try to find a book that has the sun on the cover. That does not seem too hard. And if worse comes to worse, if I can't find anything, I'll look in these and see if I have one that has the sun on the cover, or flowers. Oh, you know what? Actually, flowers is perfect because I can just do the Honey Witch, which was already on my TBR for something else. So I will add the Honey Witch for this. And if I don't wind up reading the Honey Witch, I can also read Sleep Like the Dead. So yeah. That is a pretty long TBR. I also never count my audiobooks. You all know that. But I will say this, going back to work, I will definitely be listening to a lot more audiobooks. Just because I have a lot more time. I mean, especially when I'm working, like I can't work in silence. And you really, really can't listen to stuff around the kids. But if I have my headphones in and I'm working, I probably can. So yeah, that is my full TBR. Let me know, what are you doing? And I'm also participating in Mystic Falls-a-thon and the Goddess-a-thon. So those are the two that I am participating in as well. They're just not like, if I can finish my entire Aurelium TBR, and if I could do my 2 prompts, and if I can do my my neck galley, I will call myself done. I really hope you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments what are your reading plans for September. I would love to know, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.